Hello, beautiful people, and welcome back to my channel. My name is Camilla Luke, and on this channel, we focus on beauty, mindset, life, and style. If that resonates with you, don't forget to hit the subscribe button, as well as the notification bell to be notified whenever it is I upload a new video. Now, today, I'm going to be touching on something that's very, very hard to talk about, and that's relationships. Relationships are something that, depending on what you experienced as a child, will affect how you have a relationship with the people that are in your life today. Are you ready? Let's dig in. There are good relationships, and then there are bad relationships. I would say those are what we call now toxic relationships. And a lot of us think that we cannot get rid of them because guess what? Some of those toxic people are within our family. And sad to say, some of us don't realize that we ourselves can be toxic to other people. I had to realize that while some of my intentions were ultimately good, because it came from me, the person saw it as toxic. Was that easy to accept? No. But it was necessary, and I had to distance myself because sometimes how you are with someone is not always in the best interests of them. The same way when it comes to you and how some people might think that how they are speaking to you and the things that they do are great for you when it's actually not. You have to realize sometimes that you might be that person to someone else. Now, I say all of this because we need to understand that even First Lady Michelle Obama said herself, when her and her husband Barack went to counseling, she was just going there because she thought he needed help. And when the psychologist or the psychiatrist turned to her, she was just like, what's wrong with me? I'm perfect. We need to understand that we are not perfect beings. That is something that's very hard to accept, but it's true. And if we allow ourselves to fully realize that we can be good and we can be toxic at the same time, we can then learn to start healing. I don't like the fact that sometimes I come across as toxic. And it's not intentional, but it is the case. And sometimes we just have to take a step back. I had to learn that some things that I say and some things that I do will just be taken in a negative light because of who I am. Let's put this out there. I can be bossy, but I'm not always bossy. I can be mean, but I'm not always mean. I can be very genuine, and sometimes I'm not. Sometimes I do things just to get it over with. Have conversations with people just to have the conversation so they can feel better. That doesn't mean I wanted to have the conversation, nor did I think I needed to have the conversation. But it happened. We need to fully own the fact that the relationships that we currently have now in life are there because we allowed it to get it to that point. It's simple. Start to detox certain people from your lives. Because when you detox yourself from certain people, that opens up your life and your world to something much better. It's hard to do that initially, but once you realize if you get rid of toxic people or a toxic person, that allows you to be open to a person that's not toxic at all, or that toxicity level is very low, then why not do it? I mean, it's taken me a while, and I started this process I'm 37. So no, I started this process 10 years ago. And I have to admit, because I deliberately stepped back from certain people and certain things and certain events, I started to feel a whole lot better emotionally, physically, and monetarily. Guess what? A lot of the money that I was spending before wasn't spent anymore. We need to understand that we waste so much time with people because we feel we have to at times, and we really don't. Why do I say this? Depending on where you grew up or who you grew up with, you might think you have to be friends with certain people. You might think you have no other choice but to be friends with this person because your friend is friends with someone. And that's not true. You don't have to. But you feel obligated. And you shouldn't feel obligated. That's their friend, not yours. That touches on something of jealousy. Sometimes we can be possessive of our friends. I know I am. The ones that are real close to me, I always say, oh, whatever. You with your new friends now. I get very possessive at times. But the one thing I understand is some of my friends need other friends because there are going to be times when I can't be there for them. And if I'm not able to be there for them, why should I stop someone else from being able to be there for them? That's a hard pill to swallow. And when I finally got to that point of realizing it, it made things a little bit easier. Not something that I enjoyed because I wasn't there for friends, certain friends, but it's something that made me at least feel better about knowing they had someone else that they trusted in a way to be there for them when I couldn't. And those are what you call successful relationships. Successful relationships are people that you choose to be in your life that are there for you to balance you out, to keep you grounded, to help you understand when you are messing up and can put you back in your place. Yes, I said it because it's true. I have one particular friend who I've known since the 4th grade. And sad to say, we don't speak to each other as much as we should. But that woman, she knows me. Do I like it that she knows me so well? No. But am I grateful that she knows me so well? Yes. And you know why? Because she calls my BS real quick. Real quick. But she does it out of love. She doesn't do it to hurt my feelings. She doesn't do it to make me feel small. She doesn't do it to make me feel bad and make me understand that I can't do any better. She says the things that she says because she knows, 1, that's not like me. 2, I can do better. And 3, why would I waste my time doing something that is not going to benefit me in the long run? Those are her reasons for saying the things that she does. And guess what? She's one of my dearest friends up until today. And she cusses me out. And not even foul language or anything like that, or expletives. She literally just says things that makes me, yes ma'am, even though we're the same age. Why? Because for her, she's my checker. And I have several of those people set up in my life to help me when I get out of pocket and I get crazy. Everybody needs those friends. But those friends are not supposed to be toxic, because there are some people who try to be that checker, and instead what they do is they, like I said, belittle you, make you feel small, make you feel like you're wrong, make you feel like you don't do anything, you're not worth anything, in the moment when you need them to help you understand what you could have done better and how you can build upon it. Do you understand the difference that I'm sharing with you now? A lot of us don't understand that these things are very crucial. Because I could have been in a situation years ago that could have turned me into someone that didn't care anymore, didn't want to do certain things anymore. But because of the people that I have set up in place in my life, I can have successful relationships with not only them, but with others. There's a book out there called The 5 Love Languages. That book blew my mind. And it blew my mind because I started to realize that there are different ways that people show love, that there are different ways people communicate with one another. And I'm thinking that it was all about how I wanted to communicate, so I would communicate to them the way I wanted to. No. Hence why I said sometimes people are toxic without realizing it. And you sometimes can be toxic without realizing that you are as well. It's the way you communicate with people. These are things that will change and revolutionize your relationships. Okay? Every single time you have a new relationship, a new friendship, and the same thing happens from a previous friendship that you had to get rid of, if that happens way too many times, start to look at what you are doing to cause these relationships to go bad. Because then it's not them, it's you. Or for instance, me. I started to change the way that I interacted with a lot of my friends. And some stayed, some didn't. And that hurt because I thought I invested so much time and energy and effort and money. And I felt like, oh, I lost out on so many things because I stayed there. You didn't lose out on anything. You helped another person at a time when they probably needed it. But you have to come to a maturity and understand that they also have to be let go. The same way they came in is the same way you have to let them go. Some people come in your life for a reason, sometimes for a season. But in all times, you must learn the reason why they are there. And be grateful that they showed you something for that time that they were in your life. That's not an easy thing. I say it because it's never easy when you have to let go of friendships. But if you truly understood the reasons as to why you were created, then you fully understand the reason why some people have to just be let go from your life. It's hard, but it's necessary. There's one thing that we need to acknowledge, and those are fake friendships, fake relationships. These things are out there. They're there. There are people who will come in your life and they will be fake just because they have that desire to want to be in your life. And you have to understand that you can't be mad at them. You have to realize that they were there for you to see something, and then you're supposed to learn from what you saw. You can get rid of them after. Of course you can. No one has to stay in your life unless you want them to. That includes family. Okay? Never think that you can't walk away from a family member if they're the ones killing you little by little, emotionally, mentally, spiritually, physically. There's so many times that you were born into a family that have so many generational curses. And I'm not talking about hexes. I'm talking about habits. Curses are habits. Curses are things that you speak over yourself and other people. Those are what I call curses. And you need to understand that if you continuously have someone telling you you're not good enough, you're never going to amount to anything, that's a curse that they're trying to place on you because that's what was placed on them most times. And unless they want to acknowledge that, you cannot and should not allow yourself to try and take on what they are trying to pass to you. That's not fair to you, and that's not fair to the people who truly love you and want the best for you. If you're not with people that are like that, I would say find them. And when you find them, hold on to them. And by holding on to them, I mean in the moment that you acknowledge that that person is different from what you're used to and it's a positive thing for you, make sure you respect them the way you want them to respect you. These are things that we are not always taught. We learn things from the TV, we learn things from our friends, we learn things from our family sometimes. And most of the times, they're not things that are beneficial to you. Just like in the educational system, my dude, how is pie and all those things going to help you with your taxes? It's not. None of the things that we learn in high school and college, I lie. Some of the things that we learn in high school and college are beneficial to us if it's for a specific field. But most of the time, we learn so many things and get distracted by so many things because we have to be taught that. That's another topic for another day. But just note, a lot of the things that we learn aren't always necessary. It's not always something that we should even know about. The things that we should know about, like our history, where we come from, the amazing lineage that we come from, we're not taught that. That's a very, very shady comment, and I don't care. It's the truth, okay? But again, that's another topic for another discussion. When you learn things, you then become aware of certain things. And if you never learn how to truly love yourself, if you never learn how to fully communicate with another person, how to practice self-care, and I don't just mean taking care of your hair or making sure you look appropriate. I'm talking about smelling good. I'm talking about presenting yourself properly. If you never learn how to do that for yourself, you're not fully loving yourself because you don't know anything about yourself. You have to know what makes you tick. And when you learn for yourself what makes you tick, when you understand for yourself what you desire out of life, what you desire out of other people, then you'll be able to make better choices in who you allow in your life and how you allow them to play a part in your life. Because every person that you meet in life, it's an actual chapter in your book that is written. And you're the one who should be writing your book, not anyone else. You are amazing. And you need to understand the relationships that you are building throughout the years. They are shaping what your book looks like. And while you may have started out one way, that does not mean that you have to end that same way. I love so hard. And I love because it's something that people need in life. Just loving other people. You never know who has been loved in their lives until you talk to them. So love other people so that the relationships that you have are more genuine and they're more positive and they're relationships that can build you up. These type of relationships are amazing. And within years of starting to filter out the toxic ones and accepting the people who are in love with you for who you are and who you are to become, because where you are now is not going to be where you are a year from now if you start to distance yourself from those who are toxic. Because I can guarantee you, come back a year from now after watching this video, following what I told you, by distancing yourself from those friends, those family members, those people who are so toxic for you, I'm guaranteeing you that things will be different, not in a negative way, because you've gotten rid of the negative people and now you have opened yourself up to be welcoming of positive people. When you do that, so many doors open. And I mean, not only doors for better jobs. I mean, so many doors are open. Your heart is now open. Your mind is now open. Your emotions are now open to things that you were never open to before. And I'm telling you right now, when you allow yourself to be open to accepting positive people in your life, so many more beautiful things will come from it. I love you, and I want the best for you.